Welcome to Seeing Scarlet. It is Shelby here with Tyler, and today we are recapping lots of basketball because lots of basketball is happening. Your Lady Raiders are now 19-0. That is the most, or the same amount of games that they won last year, all of last year, Tyler. And it is January 14th as we're recording this.
Crazy.
That's insane. They're 6-0. That is more Big 12 wins than they had last year or the last 2 years. That is equal to the most that Krista Gerlich has won in her tenure here, back during Bailey Maupin's freshman year, Bree Scott year, the year they made it to the WNIT and had a really good year. That year, for what they were at the time, it's kind of that again, except no, it's not, because they did it in the first 6 games, Tyler. We're going to talk all about that. The highs and the lows of their win over Houston. They found a way to get it done. I rewatched the game. I found some interesting things. So we'll talk about that. We'll get into a preview of Kansas State on Saturday at 1 p.m. Be there. Great crowd, really great student turnout. I want to give a shout out to our guy, Tyler. He made a post last night, but he's humble as ever. This guy, like 2-3 years ago, this is how we met Tyler, right? Seeing Scarlet started about the same time that Tyler started existing. I don't know what grade you were in or what class you were in. Were you like a freshman or sophomore at the time? Freshman on
Yeah.
campus.
First year.
The Lady Raiders that year, was that the Bree Scott year?
No, it's the year after
The year
that.
after. So they had
Yeah.
that good year, and he's like, I want to get something going. There was no Raider Riot at the time. That was just a men's basketball thing, which was absurd. So Tyler's like, let me just start our own student section. So he creates the Scarlet Stampede. He's out there handing out flyers, just begging people to show up to the women's basketball games. That's how his journey started, and that's how we got connected with Seeing Scarlet, and he was kind of behind the scenes for a while. And then when we needed a new co-host, I was like, Tyler, get your butt over here. Like, it's great. And now he's worked his way all the way up. He's like president of the student marketing, or
Raider
which
Riot,
official
all
title.
the things.
And last night they had the best student turnout Bailey Maupin said in her career. So what Bailey Maupin says is true. We don't need to look at the numbers.
Yeah,
Bailey said
we'll
it,
go with
so
that.
it's true. It was a great student crowd, and I was like shocked. I was like, I was like, did they bust these people in? I thought maybe it was for a promotion. And I was like, no, those are real students. So they were like doing the airball chants, and I was like, oh my God. So I need them to show back up, and kudos to Tyler, because he's kind of been ground flooring this. Obviously, we're not taking away from the fact that the team is 19-0 now, and that winning cures a lot of things. That gets people to want to show up. But if you don't create the motion to begin with and do the work when the time comes, when the opportunity's here, that you have a good team to market, and the way that Tyler and all them get to this year, you don't know how to do it. You don't have the stuff. You don't know what to do. And so kudos to Tyler. Kudos to all them. The hard work doesn't go unnoticed on my end. I know we do stuff here, so I get it. But just wanted to give our guy a shout out. And everybody else involved, of course.
Thank you. Yes, yeah, it's been a long time coming, and clearly, as I said, we're definitely far from where we want to be. But yeah, it was just really great to see all the students, all the crowd last night. And I mean, the student crowd, what I liked about it was just they were the most involved ever. They were filling it up. We were able to even hand out, like fat heads and things like that for them to have, and they were really loud. And like as Bailey said, it really does make a difference when you can fill the other half of the arena up, because that other half of the arena on the second half, I mean, that's when the opposing team is over there on offense. So, I mean, they're over there having to shoot threes, free throws, all the things. But when it's quiet, I mean, they're not really struggling. They're just chilling, right? It's like a regular game for them. But if you have a presence there, then things can start to get crazy. But yeah, it was a great crowd last night. And then also shout out to Brendan Sorsby and Gretchen for showing up to the game. Man of his word. I knew there was a football meeting at 6 p.m., but he was able to make it work and stop by for a little bit and be at the game. So that was just really cool to see. And I think that Red Raider Nation is already very impressed and very happy with how he's already been. It's only been 1 day of classes. So shout out to him as well.
Yeah, he didn't have to do that. And Gerlich talked about him in the postgame, and she said that they've already known each other, that she met him on his original recruiting visit and when he was just in the portal and deciding if he was going to come here. So they've kind of like already built their relationship. So that was why she tweeted that. She wasn't trying to be like super whatever, but she knew him and she wasn't trying to like twist his arm necessarily. She was just having fun. And she was like, I wasn't expecting him to like reply or anything, and definitely wasn't expecting him to necessarily show up on the first game back. So she was really appreciative. But it goes a long way, and I think that buzz and then Grant McCaslin speaking out, that helps get students there. It shouldn't need to, but there's this like, oh, someone else that we trust needs to put a stamp of approval on this team. Right. If Grant says that they're good, they must be good. And so that gets people to go. And it's stupid that it needs to be that way, but sometimes that's how it is. So that used to be the reverse. at Texas Tech, the women's basketball team needed to be like, yeah, the men's basketball team's good. Go watch them. It's good basketball. Like, I'm not even kidding. When I was in school, the women's basketball team was the team on campus that was good and
Yeah,
packed houses. So it's just the reverse now, but we're getting to where it could be both at the same time, and it could be so much
that'd be
fun. And you
hype.
could, especially for students. I mean, they're on campus now. You could be going to high level ranked matchups every night when they're in town. Like you got Tuesday, you have tonight as we're recording this. They're gonna play, and then Saturday you got 2 of them. So 1 p.m. on Saturday, the women are playing Kansas State, and then you have a little bit of a break, and 7 p.m. I believe that night with a big top 15 matchup
Mhm.
with BYU. That'll be a lot of fun for everybody, but I think they can sneak in early, right? The students be there for the women's game and kind of stay. Is that the promotion that's going on?
Yeah, they'll have to exit the arena, but they're gonna if they stay for all 4 quarters, they'll be able to get a wristband, and then they'll be to go through, I think, a separate entrance or get to skip the line so that they can just go ahead and get their front row seats for
Oh
the
my god,
men's game.
that's
Yeah.
perfect. You don't need to. I mean, maybe I hope you have to wait in a line to get in the women's game, but typically not as much for students. You can
Last
go
night there
watch
was
the
a little bit of
game.
a line at the women's game, which was
Okay,
shocking. I was like,
you know what?
they
That
opened the
yes,
doors and there was like 20 kids coming down. I'm like, hold on, hold on. I was like,
signs of
whoa.
growth. That and the fact that they're not allowing fans to like go on the court after the game and like take pictures and hug the players and all that. It's
Yeah,
sweet. It's awesome. It's been a big part of the Lady Raiders over the last 10 years and stuff. But the fact that we've gotten past that a little bit of that mom and pop, like we have to build our fan base to the degree that we have to kind of like make these players not make. I'm sure they enjoy it, but when there's 5,000 plus people doing it, that's too much on them. That's just
right.
not. You
Yeah,
can't expect them to do that, and they're gracious and they would be out there all day if they needed to, but they're trying to win games, so they don't need to be expected to do that. And so I think one, it's great that the admin recognize that and they're not forcing them to do that anymore. And two, it's a great sign of how far we've come.
for
So it
sure.
goes both ways. And of course, the loyal fans, those players will still. I saw them signing a kid's basketball before the game. All of them signed it, so you can still find your way to interact with the team. But these are good things. So definitely signs of growth. Get there early, get your wristband, watch the women's game. Then you can go eat while all your other students are standing out there starting to line up for the men's game. Because you got
Mm,
a wristband. You don't got to wait in that damn line.
you
You can
know,
just waltz back up right before the game starts and get your little seat. Same. All
same.
right, Tyler, last night, what were your thoughts on the 71-59 win over Houston to move to 19-0, the longest streak, or tying the longest streak in season with a team that won a national championship in 1993? Just that team. 19 in a
Right.
row.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get upset about winning at the end of the day, right? I mean, it can be the ugliest
Bailey
basketball game
Maupin said that.
ever, but gritty, not pretty. I mean, yeah, literally, she did say that. And I think last night, yeah, I was disappointing. I really wanted us to at least get close to covering our spread, or you would want to go in with a big blowout. But at the same time, I mean, it's just you're just gonna have those games, right? It was our lowest Torvik scored game. I think he had us at an
Computers did not like
83.
us. That's
They did
right.
not like us. They were really upset. It was just some sloppy basketball, 21 turnovers. We got out rebounded 35-33. A big part of that was that
14
Amira
doesn't
girl
count.
on Houston, yeah, had 14 rebounds. Obviously, you can't be doing that, especially when you start playing bigger teams down the stretch. We sent Houston to this was the other thing. It was kind of like the refs they were not
They
on
were
our
so bad.
side.
They were
It was
absolutely horrible. It was
horrible.
like a road game, but
Yes.
you got to learn to fight through it.
Literally,
So
we sent Houston to the line 26 times. And I mean, if you take out like half of those free throws that they make, then maybe you do get close to covering the spread. But like we were just in so much foul trouble. And then that limited Snudda from really having an impact there. And I mean, you brought up the point we were talking earlier. You still win by 12 points without Snudda Collins having a double digit game. And I mean, that's still very impressive. That's why it's like, it's really weird to kind of get a feel on this game because it's like, yeah, we did turn it over. Yeah, we let them out rebound us, all these things, but at the same time, we also still were able to win at least and finish off the game strong. And I never did feel like Houston was really in it, if you will. Like they were hanging with us, but it was just one of those games where it's like, yeah, they got it down to 4, but I was just unconcerned because they just didn't show
mm-hmm.
anything to really make that extra stretch, or we were able to get enough momentum or get a 3 or something like that to end up taking over. So that was just kind of my thought. But
I think what it is we have expectations for this team now,
yes.
and you're like you can see how good this team is, and so when they don't play to their standards, there's that voice in the back of your head that's like, "Oh no, is this going to be who they
Right.
are moving forward?" And I get that. and we all feel it because we've all been around for years now. But I don't think this team, obviously the 1-0 mindset. I mean, I asked Bailey again last night. They are locked in on that. It's not bullshit. She's like, no, like, yeah, this is just life for us. Like, they really are. They even asked Jalen in the post game on ESPN about like what their goals were for the season, and she said at the top of their goal pyramid, it doesn't say like Big 12 championship, nothing. It says 1-0.
Wow.
Their goal pyramid is basically based on every game. That is how locked in they are. So this was not a good game for them, but they still won. Snowden barely played. Horrible calls went against her. It kind of got in her head, to be fair. So maybe there's some growth there for her. So not get frustrated, because when she was in the game, she was missing shots she usually makes. But that's hard. Like, it's easier said than done to be like, I'm getting hosed and then I can't make shots. But if she makes those shots, we missed 11 layups, Tyler. 11 layups. Not good. And we had 20 turnovers. Those are what really allowed Houston to stay in it. That's what these computer metrics don't like. It's those are low efficiency numbers. Those are things we've been doing really well. The layup thing is a little bit of, that's probably my biggest concern, because it's starting to become a trend over the last few games. We're shooting like 53% over our last few games at the rim, which is like last year level putrid stuff. For at the rim percentages below average. But before that, on the season, we were like, before that, like 8% above. Like, that's what this team can finish at the rim. So I think maybe they're tired. I don't think people are giving them enough grace for the fact that they just played 3 games in 7 days, and 4 of those days they were on the road in that Cincinnati, West Virginia road trip. It's not a direct flight situation. It's flying to one place, bus to somewhere else, then bus to Cincinnati, and fly. Like, it's like a mess.
It's rough.
So you get to figure it out. These aren't like, West Virginia's not in a, international airport zone. So yeah, so there's that to give them grace for. But yeah, I think it's that expectation thing. It's like, yeah, we're 19-0, 6-0, and in the post game it was like, well, that was the ugliest game ever. And you're just like, in the back of my head, I'm like smiling a little bit, sitting there like, I love how far we've come, because last year we would have been celebrating this win like it was the best thing ever, because we won a game.
Right.
This year we won a game and they're like, yeah, great, but not our best. And that's just how quickly we've actually built a winning culture. That's been a frustration with this program, is like, it just never felt like winning actually was a high priority for the players, if that makes sense. Obviously the coaches, but it was more about other things and just like building. But this year it's like, no, like, winning is it's 1-0. And so they won. That's really all that matters at the end of the day, no matter how good you don't play. But obviously if you play this way against a top team, no, you probably wouldn't have won. If you played this way against a team that would hit more shots, you probably don't win. But who's to say we would have played this way against a team that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like maybe we just weren't mentally there, whatever, or we're just tired, or either we look more gassed than we have in a while. So let's show the highlights, and then I rewatched the game, because I couldn't watch it as closely as normal last night, because I was taking pictures and then training a new Riveter sports staff member, so I just like couldn't watch as closely, and I wanted to rewatch it. So I did that this morning while sanding. Nothing like sanding and watching basketball, I'm telling you. Just sign yourself up for that life. That's my life. So that's what I did, and took notes this morning. And I actually found some interesting stuff. Maybe I'll talk about it a little in the highlights. If not, we'll talk about the rest and the leaders of the game. And of course, you're about to see the moment of the season.
Oh my gosh.
And Jalen Bristow's half-court heave in this as well. Big time fun stuff. Danae Fritz made a 3 to start the game. Did not make another 3 the rest of the game. She only took 2. We'll talk about that more in a minute. Jalen had a lot of freedom early in the half.
She did.
I love this play from her right here. Give me that. Give me that. She's probably going to pass it to Hema there, but she had the height of it, and so she took it. Early in the game, this is something that I don't know. Early in the game, Hema and Jada and Hema and Sarah had great 2-man pick and roll games going. And then we just kind of either went away from it, or Houston adjusted, or we got tentative because their length and they were turning it over. I'm not sure. But early we were cooking on that, and then we just kind of stopped. So I don't know what that was about, but we play Houston again. So I kind of hope we go back to that, because it was working.
Yeah. No, it was working. We were looking really good.
Look at this block. Soda, come on. Highlight reel.
That is her 16th block of the season.
That was great.
There we go. That was hype.
Like, we were really doing good stuff, really. That's what's the fun thing is you watch these games and you're like, oh, wait, we're still like 9,000 times better than previous years, even when playing not great. Good to see Jalen starting to get her shot fall. She led us in 3-pointers. Helped if she made a crazy one at the end. We had buzzer beaters at the end of both quarters. One a little more dramatic than the other. I thought Sarah was great. We're talking about shots at the rim. Sarah's a person that used to struggle at that. She was 3 for 3 last night, and a lot of like difficult ones.
Still in this 2-3 zone. Takes a pretty good job getting it inside.
Sydney was big in this game. She did her job, hit some shots, great defense. Wasn't Malone's best finishing night, but she was getting frustrated with some bad calls against her. I think she just needs to kind of lock in on that, and just they're going to give her bad calls. It sucks. It's not fair, but
look at that mopping on
Pitt. Like that should have been an and one, but it is what it is. This moment, I thought this was a huge moment because look at the score. They're within 4 points. We were up. You were talking about the spread was 31. There was a point in that second quarter where we were about to be on pace for that. We were up 15, had a chance to go up 17, turn it over, and then they just slowly pecked away. Their coach is really good. I thought he did a great job all game, even calling timeouts in unusual moments that most people wouldn't. But it's like when he felt us get on a run, he's like, no, he stopped it. And he did a great job of stopping our momentum throughout the game, and we weren't great at restarting it sometimes. So credit him and credit their team for doing that. But we had a chance to really blow it open and then kind of let them get back in it. It didn't help that Snowda Collins and Danae Fritz didn't play much of the back half of that second half where they came back. Those are two of your most important players. They were in foul trouble. But still, Houston clawed back in. They're within 4 with 30 seconds to go. Coming down to the end of the shot clock, Adley gets the ball. No hesitation. Nails a 3. This is who Adley Blacklock is. Gets fired up. It fires up her. It fires up the team. She immediately runs. They don't show it. Immediately runs and darts. Almost gets a steal off of it because that's who she is, the energy. And then she runs over to the student section and is like, let's go. Because she was over there. So they get going. Then the team gets going. This is the immediate possession after. We're playing havoc defense everywhere. Almost got 3 turnovers before we even got to this moment. Trap this girl in the corner. Get a turnover. Ends up in Jalen Bristow's hands here. And Jalen says, oh, I guess I'll just shoot it?
Insane.
Oh my God. So insane. We're watching it again. I don't care.
We have to watch it again. SC top 10.
It should be all over all the shows. I mean, this is before the logo.
I mean, like
before the midcourt logo. Move over, Caitlin Clark. What in the world? And she said, at first people were saying that she makes this all the time. That's what I was told at first. I was like, all right, cool. So she does this in practice. But after the game, Jalen was like, no, I've literally never made this in practice in my entire existence as a basketball player. And she made it here, though. Final 2 seconds at the buzzer. And the team went crazy. Like, these are big energy plays. And it all started with Adley, in my opinion. I think energy is important in games like this when things aren't going your way. And I want to give credit to Adley because there's going to be games she can't play because of matchups and stuff. There's going to be games she has to play because of foul trouble with Snowda and Danae. And she was playing the 4 again. That's not easy. And Gerlich said that the other day. She's like, yeah, that's what makes Adley great is she's unselfish. Because there's some players that be like, Coach, I'm not a 4 player. I'm going to get embarrassed out there. Like, I'm not going to do that. And Gerlich was like, okay, then go sit down. But she's like, I don't have to do it with Adley because Adley's like, whatever you need, Coach. I'll play the 5. Put me in there. I'll guard the 6'6" player. Whatever you want. And so she goes out there and does her best, right? She's at a disadvantage. And I know defense is where she's trying to get better. But a lot of the times we're also throwing her out there in horrible matchups. Like, she's not guarding 2 and 3 guards. She's guarding 4 guards right now, or 4 players a lot when she's out there because she's only really in there when Danae, Snowda, and Jalen are in foul trouble because they're obviously going to play if they're not. And they play a lot of 3-4 for us. So anyway, credit to her. And then that sparked it. Jalen had herself a game. She had 14 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 steals, and 2 blocks. LOL. We're still under construction, this team. Bailey gets a horrible whistle. She just can't get a call to save her life, but great finish there.
Nice pass right into her on that back cut.
And all of a sudden the lead is
Bailey's shot wasn't great in this one, but like she said after the game, like you're not going to have your best every game. But
Right.
when they did slide under, she was like, fine, I'll take it. I just appreciate Bailey's not afraid to take the shots. You know what I mean? She's never been that her entire career. That's why she's such a consistent scorer. She'll continue taking the shots. Snoda didn't score in the game until this point, or like right before that point. She actually got to the free throw line and scored 2 points. And then the next possession down, you could see Snoda Collins heating up, be like, they can't. I was up there, I was like whispering to myself, I was like, that girl can't guard you, Snoda. That girl can't guard you. She knew that. She takes it to the basket, gets it, does a little too small celebration right after that. I don't know if you noticed that. Then we give her the ball right again. She comes down, gets I'm sure it's not in the highlights, gets that absurd charge call, or she would have been headed to the line to have 7 straight points in the game like she's capable, where she just goes off. Instead, she heads to the bench with her 4th foul.
That was horrible.
So she had some tough luck going against her for sure. And if that stuff's being called a different way, again, different game. So they definitely had stuff that was not helping the mess in this.
They're tough. They're athletic. They're going to be aggressive. And so they kind of make you play ugly.
Sarah was great again. Great moment, block.
There we go, Sarah.
Finish in transition. We love it.
For a Tech opponent this year.
Now, Houston does average about 19.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
Wow.
That is Tech basketball. Is your ball movement. Sometimes we weren't seeing that, or sometimes Houston was stopping it. I don't know. But we got it done. Finished the game. Won the game. Something that's not in the highlights for some reason, but we're going to talk about it. Danae Fritz, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 3 steals. 7 of those 10 points, Tyler, did not come from the three-point line. I thought this was important watching it live, but I went and rewatched it, and Bailey was great. Bailey's always steady. Jalen was rightfully the Lady Raider dominator. But I don't think we win the game without Danae Fritz, and we talk a lot about our defense on this show. But it was specifically her offense and specifically the way she adjusted to how Houston was playing them. When I rewatch this tape, Tyler, that's the best anyone's scouted us all year. That's the best anyone's played us defensively all year. We still scored 71 points. We scored less than 71 points this year. Usually it's because, like, we're doing stupid shit and missing easy buckets and da-da-da. And so, yeah, we missed some layups in this game and could have scored more. Absolutely. But their game plan was great, and I felt like they were doing... They knew everyone's kind of plan A. They knew everyone's preferred thing on our team. And they're like, we're not going to let this player do that. We're not going to let this player do that. We're not going to let this player do that. Danae Fritz clearly was high on their scouting report. She came in having hit at least 3 threes in 4 straight games, whatever it was. They weren't going to let her do that. Ironically, she hits one 20 seconds into the game. You can see the coach in the background losing his shit at his team because, like, we just talked about this. They don't allow her to shoot a 3 the rest of the game until, like, into the 4th quarter. It's the same exact play, so we just ran the same play again. Got her loose. She just missed that one. They were running her off the 3-point line. They were getting all over, or they weren't letting her get the ball to begin with. But instead of kind of, like, going into a shell, Danae said, fine, you're going to take away my space. I'm going to use that against you. She was driving the basket like she was in Germany. That's who Danae Fritz can be. And if they're going to do that and they're going to get all over her and not let her shoot because they don't want her to, which they should be because she will drill them if she's open. Now she's taken it to the basket, and she finished through contact. She had multiple and ones that she finished. And then another one she got to the free throw line and made 1 free throw. So she got 3 layups and 1 free throw out of 4 drives to the basket. And it wasn't just the fact she was scoring. We ended up winning by 12. She scored 10, yes. But it's more that she adjusted to what they were doing. I don't think other people necessarily adjusted as quickly to what they were taking away from them in this game. And I think we can learn from that. We're playing Houston again soon. And also, that's now on tape. So people are going to see that. I thought they were taking away our skip passes to the corner that we love so much. Taking away kind of a lot of that first action, how we wanted to start the offense. They were kind of jumping it, and we'd have to reshuffle quickly. Just small things. I just thought it was great defense. So credit them for sure. But I thought she was someone that did it. And then Bailey always does, because Bailey's carried such a load on this team in so many different positions over the years that she's had kind of every defense you can imagine thrown at her. And she knows. They definitely were trying to take Bailey out of what she wanted to do. She had too many turnovers, but she still got to her spots and still scored when we needed her to. So Bailey is always good, and she's done this, but it was good to see Danae step up in that way and be who she can be. That's who she can be as a player. If we get that moving forward, well, now they're going to have to sag off again, and she's going to be able to hit threes. Like, it's this give and take that you need her to be that player. And then Jalen, I thought she had a really solid game, especially it felt like most of that happened in the first half. I'd have to look at the stats, but 5 steals is absurd. She's probably back up to very near the top of conference and Hakeem percentage now. with that many blocks and steals. So good stuff all around. And then Adley was the other one I thought really changed the game, and Sarah had a good game, and Sydney stepped up. And I felt bad for Snowda. She did her best, but like she's gonna go crazy on Saturday.
Oh yeah, she's bound to go crazy on Saturday. And I think honestly, I think a lot of these players need to go crazy on Saturday, because that'll be a tough one. But yeah, I totally agree with the Danae Fritz thing. Also, I mean, she was second in the team in boards, had 6 rebounds, all defensive rebounds
Continues
for
that.
us. I mean,
5,
continues
8,
that
5,
trend.
5, 6 now or whatever it's been.
Yes, something
Need it.
insane like that, and you need that. You needed that aggression too, because I mean, we know like Houston literally throws punches at people, so we needed that aggression to get in there, get that rebound.
She was
make it
definitely
work.
holding herself. Her and whoever was guarding her were like hand fighting at the end of the game.
They
Like, they
were,
were like literally slapping.
yes,
And I was like,
they were getting really
it was kind of
physical
funny.
over there. But yeah, and then also, yeah, Jalen was huge in that. Her 5 steals. I mean, Hema had her steals too. It seemed like Hema at times was struggling, as we were talking about a little bit. Just like after a certain point, like there were some wide open opportunities, especially down in our front court. I felt like that there were times either Jada or even Sarah were open at times that we kind of
their
missed on.
length
But
was bothering her a
yeah,
little bit, which
yeah, that too. Because
that's why I
TK
was like,
Pitts being
it's easy
6'2" at a
to
guard, it gets hard to kind of go up against that.
Because I was up top and seeing it, and I was like, man, and that's why I asked her like after the game if, because I was like, maybe I'm seeing things, and so I was just wondering if she agreed. It felt like they were leaving people, and she's like, no, yeah, we're interested to watch the tape, and because she even brought up him, and she's like, she doesn't usually miss those people, but I will say when I rewatched it though, it was less egregious on the rewatch because then you can see the length, the arms that were in the passing lanes, the people coming over in the back. Hema can still make those passes if she doesn't hesitate, but because they had picked it off a few times, I think overall the team as a whole started hesitating, and it was like we were trying not to turn it over, so we were turning it over.
Mm-hmm.
But that's credit to Houston. The next few teams we play aren't as athletic as them. I think when people match our athleticism in the way they do, sometimes it makes it harder for us to win, but we're still undefeated, so we still find a way.
Now the team, as I said, they'll have a big game going into Saturday, taking on the Kansas State Wildcats. And the Kansas State Wildcats, yeah, if you look at their record, they're 9-9, and you're probably thinking, oh, well, they're kind of having a down year. Well, yeah, they have been upset by a few people, but they also just took down Ole Miss a couple weeks ago. They've had a few pretty good wins. They've kind of hung around with some other big top schools like West Virginia. They only lost to them by 2 points, and if their player wouldn't have just put her foot on the out of bounds line, they probably were able to get a shot in on that. So as I said, I think that Kansas State, they can't be overlooked. They are giving us a 15-point spread on this, but as we all know from yesterday's game, the spread really doesn't mean anything. You just have to go 1-0 and you have to win it. An interesting thing I find about Kansas State is usually they're really good at playing at home, and they do have one of the better crowds in the Big 12. But this year they're playing better. They have a better record on the road. It's not by much, but they still have been road warriors, and it seems like they're playing their best basketball when they're on the road. Jeff Mittie has them prepared. And they're
He's
also a team.
coach.
Yes, he's a very good coach, and that's why everyone was a little bit shocked at their start this year. But they also have a new team. When you hear Kansas State, you're thinking Ayoka Lee. The whole entire team is going to be run through this massive post.
Serena
Actually,
Sundell, one of my favorite players in the Big 12 over the last 17 years or however long she was there.
yes,
Her and Emily Ryan. Loved watching them play.
yes,
Sorry,
they were.
continue.
No, they ran. No, Serena Sundell was great. I mean, we had issues with her last year and all of that, and Ayoka Lee, obviously. That was the game last year where we had that horrible third quarter that we don't ever speak of, where we score there was like 2 points. Something like that. Yeah, we did. Not anymore. Not anymore. This is a different team. But so Kansas State, they gained them this new team, and it's led by Taryn Side. She was the one that I was warning y'all last year off the bench. She's just a 3-point assassin. That's what she does. Well, now she's kind of taken on more of a leadership role. Obviously, they're kind of building around her. She's averaging 13 points per game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. She's almost a 40% 3-point shooter. She has one of the more lethal shots in the Big 12. They're bigs though. It's 6'1". That's as tall as they get with Nasha Claessens, however you say her name.
She is a WNBA draft pick, mind you.
Yes.
She's the player, the fun facts. She's the player that Baylor men's basketball used as a case study to how they could get that guy that plays for them that was drafted into the NBA. They said, hey, this girl over at women's basketball did it. Why can't we? She never played in the WNBA to be clear. They just had her rights and she didn't come over. But she's older. She's actually pretty good. They do have some big, I don't know her name, but she does come in some games I've seen them play. She's like a 6'6" freshman that they're trying to like make their next Ayoka Lee. Like, that's the whole.
Okay.
but she's just not quite there yet. But she does come in sometimes, and since we don't have a player that can necessarily match that, I wouldn't be shocked if they threw her out there for some matchups. But Jada handled that totally fine against Arizona when they did that with the Chaw.
She did.
Similar kind of like unrefined type big, but it's just big.
Yeah.
I don't know her name, but she does exist.
They might, yeah, and they might kind of like switch it around, but right now they do kind of have their 6'1" forward. Janessa Cotton's another forward that also comes in there quite a bit and really helps the team with their rebounding. And then their other guard, I mean, Kansas State has kind of played around with their starters. They've had some injuries. I think Cotton was the one that was injured the other day, so she wasn't able to play for a little bit, so they had to switch to other people. Gina Garcia is also their guard. She's really good at really passing the ball. She has a great court vision. She's just their freshman that they brought over from Spain, I believe. So I don't know if
I
Hema
wonder if
potentially
Hema
knows her. I know.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting to see. But I think that Kansas State's factor player that has been for this season, and after watching, she's now on a roll. And we actually have some history-ish with her, right? As far as like recruiting goes wise, Tess Heel.
Yeah, we
Santa
went
Clara.
after her in the portal.
Yeah.
I don't think she entertained it too much because Stanford offered her, and that was like her dream school. But
Right.
we did try to get her in the portal 2 years ago when she entered after. She was like one of the leading scorers in the nation out of Santa Clara.
I mean, she was great at Santa Clara.
She's great. We played against
Like,
her in that
We
Vegas
did.
tournament.
We won.
She's a 3-level scorer, and then she went to Stanford and just kind of completely lost her confidence. But unfortunate for us, she dropped a 30 ball the other day. She's starting to play like the old Tess Hill. Coming off the bench,
Yeah.
but she might be starting soon.
Oh, yeah. She might get the start soon. I mean, 10 points per game, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and she's also a really great 3-point shooter. And basically what I've kind of picked up is when she is on a roll, then the whole team is on a roll. And you talk about the other day, her 30-point
In that case,
showing.
Danae Fritz.
Oh, yeah,
So-
Danae Fritz. Okay. I mean, honestly, yeah, I'd put Danae on her because, I mean, what is interesting about K-State is they are a fourth quarter team. And in the past several games, they have had like monster fourth quarters. Like I'm talking like you would think that, oh, if we're up by 20 points, Kansas State's out of it. Absolutely not. Against Utah, a 32-point fourth quarter led by Tess Heel. And they almost ended up beating Utah. Utah was able to pull away at the end. Houston, yes, they did have that scuffle in the last 5 minutes, so they had to take out their best scorer, 26 points. This team's not going to quit. They're going to be on a roll. They're going to want to go in the paint. And Tess Heel, she has really great moves down there, down low. Like she's going to be able to pivot around. She's going to be able to try to get a crafty shot up. But the only thing that can hurt them, and what we're going to have to be really good about, is rebounding. We can't get out rebounded in this game because Kansas State, similar to us, but they're worse than us in this category. They're 295th in the country in offensive rebound. They can't grab the ball after they get a shot.
A lot of
so if we
defensive
limit second
reboundings
chances,
ahead. Defensive rebounds
Yes.
for both teams ahead.
yes, hopefully. But if we can limit their second chance
I mean, I hope
points,
not.
then you
I hope we
limit.
go and get some offensive rebounds.
Yes.
But I'm just saying.
You
stats
limit
wise.
their second. You limit their second chance points, and then maybe they don't have these monster fourth quarters. But some teams haven't been able to figure that out yet. But that's kind of what I have. They have the same tempo as us, 70.5, I think right now is the rating is what it's showing. So we're not really similar. We are kind of similar, but we definitely have the size advantage. So it's going to be a little bit different than the past few games we've been playing with Cincinnati and Houston.
Yeah, just a different type of team. Now they always under Jeff Mittie usually play really gritty defense. This year their defense hasn't been as good, but I think it's just because they're young. They have a lot of freshmen playing for them, or a lot of inexperienced players in the college game. Even the Nostia girl, Clausen's girl, this is her first year in American college basketball. It takes some adjustments. Some games she's really great. Other games, it seems like the physicality gets to her sometimes. So hopefully, if we have a reffing crew that doesn't want it to be powder puff football, they'll let us play basketball and we can kind of win with our toughness. But they're not mentally soft, like you said. They're gonna stay in every game if you let them. You definitely can't let off the gas late. And they probably should have lost to Houston the other night if not for that thing. But they still were able to hang around with the Houston team that is really athletic. And so it's not a terrible comparison to like our athletes. We just shoot it better. We execute better. Typically, we press the heck out of people. Houston, K-State. Let's see, do they turn it over a lot? I think they don't. Usually, K-State takes care of the ball really well. Yeah, they only turn it over 15 times a game. Like that's really solid for what they are as a team. It's not top of the nation, but 74th percentile, better than us. We're at 16 a game. So that's going to be a battle. Can we get them out of what they want to do? We should be able to beat them. They have athletes, absolutely. They have way better shooters than we faced in the last 3 games, to be honest. This is less about athleticism and more about execution type players and like good 3-level basketball players. So they'll shoot their way to a win if we don't get all over them. But typically we're fine getting all over and getting after people. It's when these teams can make these tough mid-range shots or whatever that they hang around on us. So we'll see. I don't hate if Tess Hill, I'm going to trust Tyler's scouting report there. If she is the player that makes them go, even if she doesn't lead them in scoring, I think you always should put Fritz on the player that makes them go. Now, Terrence sides can get going, but I think Hema could handle that assignment. She's 5'7", so
Yeah.
Same thing. She's a great shooter. I mean, she's elite. When Hill and Sides are shooting well, they're hard to beat. They take a lot of their shots at the rim and from 3, similar to what modern basketball is, different from what we've played of late, where Houston and Cincy just lived in the mid-range. Maybe that's part of the slog, like I said, because we're really good at forcing people in the mid-range. Those teams were like, fine, we'll take them. They don't make a ton of them, but they make enough to where it's hard for you to go on those big runs because eventually they'll just make a shot. These other teams force them in the mid-range, see if K-State's going to make it. Tess Hill doesn't mind hanging out there, but Terrence Sides is like going to be shooting threes or hitting layups. I don't know if she wants to shoot from there. So just play your basketball. I think an extra day of rest is going to be good for this team. I think they had a full off day today, which they haven't had in a while because they've been traveling. Their off days have been spent on a plane or a bus. That's not really an off day, especially not mentally. So I think that'll be good for them. Kansas State now, meanwhile, has had a full week off to prepare for us because they don't play this week. But it's fine. We're going to be ready for them. Get the win. 20-0 will be another record for this program that they can put to their name because that will be the longest winning streak in a single season.
Wow.
Because the longest currently is the 93 team and this year's team that now shared at 19-0. There is a longer overall winning streak that I think the 93 team started at 19-0 to finish the year, and then the next year they won like 5 in a row to go to 24-0 in a span over 2 seasons. So we could break both of those, I guess, but we definitely can set the single season streak record and add it to the list. And I think that's important because I know people are like have these expectations. And it's like, I didn't play great, and they're all kind of still waiting for the shoe to drop. But this team has done so many cool things, and they can add this to their list. Now, people can't take this away from them.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think that, it was good almost in a sense to kind of have those bad games, kind of like Cincinnati and Houston, where we didn't think we weren't playing our best basketball. I think that having this extra day of rest, we can kind of settle in and lock in and realize that this stretch is about to get tough. I mean, after Kansas State, there's that tough Utah road trip, and then that following week is the biggest week in Lady Raider basketball history since the 90s. So, there's a lot of... Yeah, I know. I'm not lying. There is a lot on the table here. So, Kansas State...
don't even know that exists if you ask the team.
They don't.
I love
they don't. Yeah, Bailey literally said Kansas State is
the
biggest game of the year.
So Bristol said the same exact thing to ESPN.
And you know what? What if it's the reset game? It's going to be the reset game. Everyone's going to go back to how they were shooting, lights out and stellar defense, and then we're just going to continue on from there.
I'm not saying that K-State won't try to muck it up because Jeff Minnie is a great coach. So I honestly expect him to have an equally great scouting game plan, especially with a week off to prepare for us. Yeah. And having just watched what Matt Mitchell did to us defensively, like, we got to be ready for some of the similar things that Houston threw at us. I don't think they have the athletes to do exactly what Houston did. But they can do some of it. Maybe they'll throw some zone at us. Wouldn't be shocked, to be honest. And they'll hit more shots than Houston did. So it'll go both ways. But we're a team that likes to out-physical people and out-tough people, which is wild because that's not been us. That's us this year. Even Matt Mitchell said that last night. He was like, and that's like the third coach that has answered that in a press conference after our games at home. He's like, this team, when you watch them on film, is just tough. Like, they're a team that's built on toughness, and we knew that we had to come in here and match their toughness or we wouldn't have a chance. And he's like, I thought we did that, but we had way too many mental mistakes. But physically, I thought we were good, but you can't make mental mistakes and beat this team. He's like, we could have beaten other teams tonight the way we played, but we couldn't beat this team. And that's like who we are now, and that's crazy, right? But that's what they are. So, yeah, get it done. Other fun fact I didn't mention is they have Azila, I don't know, Arenas on their team. That is the daughter of Agent 01 Gilbert Arenas, the NBA. Is he a Hall of Famer yet? Starred for years with the Washington Wizards. That's his daughter. She plays like him a little bit.
She's pretty good.
She's just young. She can get
if
going.
they get her
too.
off the bench, they can get her going on the 3-point line. I mean, the other day she was. I mean, it was insane.
She saw some people up. She can shoot it. They have good players. They're just young. They're going to get a team that's way better by the time the season's over than they were early, and you've already seen them making strides as the year's gone on. So, yeah, a whole week to prepare for us. You're going to get Jeff Mitty's best game plan of the year. Just go out and do it. You have athletic advantages for sure, but they have some matchup things that we'll have to overcome. We're fine. Just keep winning.
Fine. Get a good crowd there.
I've already said I'm always less worried about teams that aren't. I don't know. That's probably rude to say it. I just don't see Kansas State is not a team that's built on like let's muck it up and out tough people. They're like a true basketball team. I mean that in a complimentary way. Like they have true basketball players, and that means we can play basketball. And I think good teams typically prefer to go out and play basketball instead of getting these rock fights that we used to do that to people. We tried to drag people into the mud and rock fight with them last year because that's the only way we can win. That's the only way that Houston, Cincinnati can beat teams like that. So we've been drug into the mud the last few games. We've found a way to get through it and win. Kansas State will try to a degree, but they also want to play flowing basketball. We'll see. They might throw zone like they did to West Virginia because they couldn't handle West Virginia's athletes. So they might do something similar to us if we're beating them one-on-one. Then Danae Fritz and Bailey Maupin and even Sydney was hitting threes last night in the zone.
Bring Adley off the bench.
Adley.
Have her get some minutes.
Cook. So it'll be fun. I'm excited for them. 20-0 before they go on the road. Be there.
Pack the USA.
Hang out all day. Come say hey.
It'll be fun.
I met some more people in the... I met Adley's granddad. Well, I've already met him before, but ran into him in the elevator last night. Good guy. Yeah.
Hi.
All right. On to the next. Softball, real quick. They opened practice. I was at softball for their first scrimmage of the spring. They call it the spring. Obviously, it's still winter, but go with us here. Listen, the first thing you notice, it was not open to the public, but media was allowed to be there. First thing you notice when you walk in there, we're a very highly talented softball team. I wasn't here for last year's first scrimmages, but even just like walking in on game day, you could see like we had some really big athletes and some others that were just good at softball. You know what I mean? There are athletes all over this damn field. Like even they had it split between like as if they were playing a real game. So they had like their main rotation of people, and then they had 4 kind of veterans mixed in with a bunch of freshmen on the other team just so they could fill the team because they didn't have enough of those freshmen. So they had a few people over there kind of bouncing back and forth to play that, but the other team was like, it was our team. Like that's what we would just put out there. They won like 7-0 or something like that, as they should. But the athletes, even on the freshman team, if you will, were just as good. One girl dove into the fence, didn't make the catch, but she went like headfirst into the fence to try to make the catch. And
oh my gosh.
Jared Glasgow was sure to give her a shout out after practice. You could hear him in the huddle, and that was like one of the first things he brought up. And he was like, "You didn't make the catch. The ball fell out of your glove." But he's like, "You don't know how happy you made me." And so I kind of asked him about that without asking him directly about it after practice. I said, "What's different between this first scrimmage and last year's first scrimmage?" And Glasgow said, like the competitiveness there, you don't have to teach this team to dive. You don't have to teach this team to run into walls. They're already doing it. And remember, he's like, last year was like, they just couldn't grasp it. He said that on our show a couple times. He said that multiple times after games. He's like, we just couldn't get that team to like do those things. And this team is doing it from day one already in spring. And it's not even just the stars doing it. So defense is great. We talked to Glasgow. You'll see this interview come out. He thinks that we could have the best defense, one of the best defenses in the country, which a lot of people think we're not going to be as good defensively, but what he's seen apparently, and what I saw yesterday, I'm like, oh, I get it. So that was good. Nyjah didn't pitch, KT didn't pitch, but they both hit. Nyjah had a really hard hit ball to the wall that Logan Holloman, speedster that she has ran down. Most people maybe don't get it to it, and it would have been maybe a double in the gap. KT had like 2 or 3 hits, a screamer to the wall. I think KT is going to really turn heads this year. I think she's going to be used a lot early in the year, especially.
Mhm.
She might even be like, I don't want to call, she might be the ace of the staff at the beginning of the year based on what I'm hearing. They might be like
Ooh.
trying to be smart about Nyjah and make sure that she's rested and healthy for the postseason, and she might hit more than she pitched. I don't know. We'll see what the plan is, but KT is going to be fun this year. Sam pitched as well for the red team. Instead of KT or Nyjah, she was on that team pitching, starting. She looked really solid, didn't give up many hits, didn't give up any runs, so that was good to see. We got to see Timber Hensley for the first time. She didn't play in the fall. She's a freshman. She's a two-way player. She pitched for Black. She gave up some runs, but again, she's going up against All-Americans. She had some good stuff mixed in. Chloe had a couple of good innings. Chloe Riasetto for the Black team. Desi pitched behind Sam for the red team. Desiree Spearman looked great again. Tara Archibald had great things to say about her on our show
She
when you
did.
get to watch that interview. I think people are going to be
She
really
did.
surprised about what she can bring, both in the mound, and she played some outfield as well in this game. Mally West was kind of one of the freshmen that got buzz, but she's been hurt like her last 2 years of high school. She's had a tough injury history. Didn't play in the fall for us. She pitched for the first time in this for them, and she was hitting like 65, 66 on the gun, and I could hear Glasgow in the background because he was sitting in the stands. He's like, this girl's been maxing out at 62 ever since she's been healthy.
Wow.
So she got into a game a scrimmage, and instantly raised her level, and she was hitting 65, 66. Now, I think she might have given up a home run. No, I think it was Timber that gave up the home run to Hensley. Yeah. So off of Hensley and KT double up. Yeah, so I don't know. She might give him a run or two, couple of hits over her couple innings, but I was impressed with Mally West. Is she going to pitch this year? No. Maybe in a blowout or something, but
Yeah.
that's a future piece that was supposed to go to Louisiana with him, and when he came over here, she had been recruited by Texas Tech as well, but had just picked Louisiana over us, and so since she had been recruited by us, she could change her commitment and come to Texas Tech anyway.
Right.
Since so she was kind of like his first high school recruit after he joined Texas Tech. So thought she looked good. Taylor Panel is
Oh
such
my
a good
gosh.
hitter.
I'm so excited to see Taylor this year.
Right up the middle, she was finding hole, just so good, so good. Mia Williams hit a home run. I can't remember off who, but she had a home run. Haley Tony had a home run, and we had multiple doubles. Like, it's just different. Last year it was like they weren't hitting home runs off of each other. Now it was against Nyjah mostly, but still, they just weren't doing that in fall practice or spring. First scrimmage of the year, and they had 2 bombs.
Wow. I mean, it's almost like night and day. And like last year's team was the national runner-up, 1 game away from winning a national title, and this year's team is already, like as Jerry said, he's coached for so many years. He said this is the best team he's seen in like 15 years, including his pro experience. So it's a little snapshot
he did
that we'll
say
give y'all.
that on our interview. We might post this. Go ahead and post that next week. We'll see. I don't want to keep you guys waiting. There was too much good stuff in there that's kind of timely to what they were talking about. So we might slip it out there next week on Wednesday or something between our normal episodes. And then we are supposed to be talking with Nyjah Kennedy and Alana Johnson. That's scheduled soon. So I think that'll be a fun interview together because Alana Johnson's going to have herself a damn year.
Oh, yeah.
Just be
for
ready.
sure.
She's not on any of these preseason lists. Absurd. Wake up. She's about to wake everybody up.
Yeah, I know. Like, what a snub. That's insane. The Alana Johnson, she just wow.
Alana Johnson. And she had I guess they don't know that about her fall, but she was the best player in fall. And when we asked about her in that interview, they said, yeah, and she showed up even better to start spring. I think she might have had a hit in this game. No, she didn't get a hit, but she walked and got hit by a pitch. So she didn't have a chance to swing in the innings that I saw. So
if teams start wanting to do that, Alana is also fast. So if they want to start doing that and getting her on base, let her.
Stole a base,
let her.
Actually, yeah.
Oh,
get on base
look right there. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Dual threat either way. And then if they keep doing it to our whole lineup, we're just going to be, just walking around, just playing ring around the rosy with the bases because their teams are going to be like, oh, can't do this. Oh, can't do this. Oh, can't hit to them.
Yeah.
They're just going to have to sacrifice the home runs.
We should put up a lot of runs. Somebody asked me this on Red Raider Sports. I don't think I've gotten around to answering them because yesterday was a busy day with basketball, but I'll answer it here. They're like, do you think this team could go undefeated? And I just want to say that that's like insane because you play so many games in softball and like you don't always pitch your best people either. So it's if this team goes undefeated, it's because Sam Lincoln has a great year. It's because Desiree Spearman has a great year in the circle. Obviously, with their non-conference schedule, it's better than people think it is. RPI-wise, it's really not that bad because the mid-majors they picked up are really good mid-majors and honestly better RPI teams than a lot of power conference middling teams that just sound better if you had them on your roster. But because of the SEC's little childish boycott of the team, you're missing some big games that you could have had in some of these tournaments. But who cares? A&M isn't wimps. We're still getting to play A&M at their place. Florida State isn't wimps. They're in the ACC though. They're welcome. We'll play them. So you're getting some big chances. And then Japan doesn't count, but I think we'll learn a lot about the team when they play Japan. I just don't know if we'll like trot our best people out there because like it doesn't matter. But that is probably our biggest test in the first couple of week or so. But yeah, so can we go undefeated? I mean, yeah, of course, because our offense is so damn good. But we're also not going to trot Nyjah and KT out there for every single game. So it's going to come down to those games when they're not out there. And then some of them, like, they're human. We're going to play good hitters. Like, they could give up some runs. And so it's possible because we don't play Oklahoma State in the Big 12 either, especially. But I think the Big 12 is going to be a lot better this year than it was last year. Baylor's going to be a lot better. They're going to be back to their old selves. BYU, they kept that freshman of the year that was so good. They somehow kept her. They're going to be really good. Like, the list goes on. So I think it's going to be harder to, like, just run shop through conference like we did last year. But we're also, like, 9,000 times better. So, yes, we could go undefeated. It's possible. But would that be historic? Yes. That doesn't. I think even like OU went like 61-1 one year. So like it's eventually
that one loss to Baylor. It was so
weird.
It
just feels like there's always going to be like one game mixed in that's going to catch them.
I think just the thing that's so different is, we asked, or the biggest thing is just having more help for Nyjah and just having a second, true, KT could absolutely start at any other university, be the number one pitcher, right, for a team. Yeah, she will be next year.
And I think she might be this year. I think it's really 1A and 1B.
It really is.
She's looked that good in the fall on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, you look at weekends and it's like, usually we would be like, all right, Nyjah 1-2, at least get us the series win and it's over. But, you can go Nyjah, KT, Nyjah, you can go KT, Nyjah, KT. I mean, you could do all sorts of mix-ups. If you add in Sam Lincoln, as we were saying, teams are just going to be struggling because it's just like we have such a good pitching staff this year that's not going to be like last year where it felt like, you have crazy games like, for example, when we played Nebraska, right? We literally had to hit our way to win that game. Like it was like a 6-5 finish. This one we'll still have a second pitcher that we won't have to start trading out all the time. They'll be able to start holding off the hitters. So I don't know. It'll be really interesting to just see. But our depth this year in the pitching circle, especially, is, that's impressive. You're talking about these freshmen doing good. Look at that. That's like 6 pitchers. Not that they'll play, but at the same time, just gives you hope down the road.
Yeah, still. I don't think we might not even want them to, like burning red shirts and stuff. Like I don't know how many games they can play in softball and I don't know if it's like basketball or if they step on the field they lose it. So they might just like be there in case and get better. And I think they understand that. Like, listen, they're on a team with Nyjah Kennedy and Caitlin Terry. I think they understand that they're not going to be big time in the circle. I think they want Sam to be. They even hinted that if it works out how they want to have 3 starters for a weekend series, 3 different people. That would mean Sam has to step up and be that Sunday starter probably. So that's best case scenario. But if it comes to it, KT or Nyjah can handle 2. We also have Chloe Riasetto still chilling. That's there to come in as a closer or whatever when they need it. And again, Desiree Spearman's going to surprise people. She's going to be a really nice change of pace in that circle when we need an extra arm. Or the good thing about softball is you can re-enter. So like even if just a matchup needs to come out there and get one hitter out, and then Nyjah or KT can come right back in, like that'll be Desi, I think, in some games along with Chloe. So one other random update that I know a lot of people from other teams watch our show when it comes to softball. Welcome to the show. Thanks for hating. See you in the comments. But for Texas Tech fans that care, Mia Richards got hurt in the fall, and it looked really bad. But she was playing yesterday, so again, I don't know how much she will or won't play. She was not on any of the preseason watch lists for the freshmen, but she's the freshman I would have put on the preseason watch list based on what I saw in her limited time
phenomenal.
In the fall. She played like 2 or 3 games and was great. Like she was getting hits off Nyjah. Like she was doing some stuff. Like she looked unconcerned. She's tall. She's good. I think they're working on her defense in the outfield, but I was excited that she was playing, because I thought maybe she had blown her knee out, because that's what it looked like live, and you don't get updates on injuries. But I'm just really excited for her that she's not going to be out for the season, and she can actually get practice time, reps, and get ready. She's going to be a part of this program in the future. I wouldn't be shocked if she's the freshman that gets some playing time this year, though. It's just the outfield is loaded.
I mean, she's an absolute dog too. Her personality, I mean, just badass. Like,
yeah. So I
great.
think that might be the freshman that, if any of them have a role this year, based on what I saw her do in the fall. Now, I don't know if she got a hit in this game. I can't remember. I was too happy to see that she trotted out of the dugout with a helmet on. I was like, oh my god, she was in a brace most of the fall. So I'm just happy for her on that level. That's great. And she might have been our highest recruit too. I think she was only one ranked in the top 50 or something of Softball America at a high school. But for some reason, maybe they thought she was hurt too. She wasn't on their watch list. But she was playing. So that's great. She would not have been playing if she had blown her knee.
Right.
What their plans are, I don't know. There's too many veterans on this team. No, it's not going to be like last year where you have Tony and Bailey and Sam all being integral pieces of your team as freshmen.
Right. It'll be a little bit different.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Although Haley Tony, fun facts we learned in the interview, another spoiler alert, she is a captain on the team. I thought that was a big... He just slipped that in that meant nothing, and I was like,
yeah.
Haley Tony, a sophomore, as a captain? That's...
huge.
I think that says a lot about her leadership
says
and how much she puts in work. So we'll look out for Haley Tony. She could be an All-American this year if she really, really does the damn thing. She's so good on defense.
I believe.
At her bat.
Oh, yeah.
We could have 3 All-Americans on the infield. 4 if you count Jazzy Burns or Loggy or whoever's going to be the catcher.
Wow.
I'm crying.
Wow. Great problems to have.
Well, I think we have a top 10 player on all of the Softball America positional lists that are kind of being announced over this week, except for first base. And hi Lauren Allred or hi Jackie Liz. It's just because they're going to split the position, I think, so it's hard to pick one person to put on there. But production-wise, I think it'll be there. It's just going to be multiple people doing it. Anyway, we could ramble about softball forever. I don't know if they're going to have more open scrimmages or not. If so, obviously we'll be there. But we have players and stuff coming on soon. You'll have the coach's interview coming out soon. And then it's going to be the season before you guys know it. And we'll be recapping all the games that are streamed that allow us to actually watch them. And I'll go on my inevitable rant when they're not.
Right.
My yearly rant. Just prepare yourself.
That's great.
All right. We'll close out the show. Big game coming up on Saturday for men's basketball. Don't have an exorbitant preview. It's a top 15 matchup with number 11 BYU. They have potentially the number 1 overall pick in the NBA on their team. Was the number 1 player coming out of high school from Massachusetts. So everyone was like, how did this dude end up at BYU? The answer is a lot of money. That's the world we live in. So good for them. They paid him well, and he came there, and he's putting up numbers. Tyler, what are his numbers? 22 points a game or something?
Yeah, he's having 23 points per game. He's shooting 33% from the 3-point line, 7 rebounds per game. He has 24 steals on the season. I mean, 4 blocks.
He also almost averages 4 assists a game, and he's 6'9".
Yes, 6'9". I mean.
Wow. I don't know who's going to guard him, to be completely honest. JT is going to need to. 6'10" JT for sure. Could be a Nolan Groves game. We had issues with the big. I think the Duke big was bigger and Boozer a little bit taller, but he gave his fits, and then we put Groves out there, and he still got some buckets, but Groves just annoyed the shit out of him. So if this AJ guy gets going, let's just put our little annoy the shit out of him player out there and see what happens, and then JT can focus on doing what JT does.
Yeah, it'll be real interesting.
Very novice scouting report on them. But they're fun to watch. I've seen them a couple times. I'm hoping they're not fun on Saturday. I think it's going to be a really fun atmosphere, though.
Oh, yeah. I think it'll be a hype atmosphere. It looks like they kind of have 3 players that are all in the double figure.
He's not alone, to be clear.
Yeah, Richie Saunders is returning. I mean, huge 17 points per game. Robert Wright, or if he had 19 points per game, Robert had 17 points per game. So BYU, they're always going to have athletes. They're a great team, number 11 in the country. They only have 1 loss on the year, and that was to UConn, and it was only a loss by 2 points. So, I mean, but they did play Utah pretty close, it looks like. They only won by 5 points. Now, granted, that's the Holy War rivalry, so, rivalry games get a little chippy, but that is to say, they can be beatable. So, It'll be a
Yeah,
very hype
Utah is one of
atmosphere.
those teams that who'd they play early in the year where they were down like 30 at halftime and then they came back to win. That's just like a Utah team thing
Yeah.
every year. It's like they did that to us. Like we were down big at halftime and came back to beat them. It's like they can have these really clunker halves, and then they can have these really insane halves.
Right.
It's just the way they play, even under a new coach. Maybe it's the altitude. They breathe weird air there, and it like just extends to wherever they are on the road. But it's going to be high-level basketball, and it's going to be a very big test for this team on Saturday. So, want to win the Big 12, you beat BYU. You want to get back in the conversation to have a top 4 seed in the tournament. A lot of people are putting you around 6, 7 right now. Oh. Didn't even mean to do that. I'm a child. Work your way back up into one of those top 4 spots. You got to beat BYU. It's an opportunity. It's exciting. You dropped some opportunities. Now you have one of those big opportunity games at your own place. It's the first one of the year. Get a ranked team in your own house, and we usually do well in those things. So
yeah, we're favored by 2 points. So
yeah, students back. It's going to be insane. I'm going to have to take my headphones so I can actually do my job and not go deaf.
Gonna break all sorts of noise, decibels, all the things.
Yeah. Yep. Any other thoughts?
Be
Otherwise,
there
we'll see
for
y'all next
both
time.
games Saturday. Women's
you better be
first,
there.
then the men's game. Let's just have the entire arena packed. Let's make the arena have to open up the upper bowl. Like, let's just force them. The demand will be so high. They're like,
I wonder
oh,
what they
what?
would do.
We have to do that?
Would they do that, or would they just be like, that like for the women's game? If there was like enough people, I don't know that's they'll just send the students to sit in the empty seats. I think, but that
Yeah,
people didn't buy.
probably.
But in a world that everybody bought them and they didn't plan for it, would they? I just don't think they'd have the workers to open the upper bowl.
Yeah,
But they would have to do it the next game. But let's force them to make that decision, y'all.
Yes, let's do it. Force them. Make them open it up.
Hang out all day at the USA. What else do you have to do as students?
Nothing.
Have fun.
And it's syllabus week, so like, there's really no homework.
Yeah, who goes to... Actually, I'm not going to get in trouble.
Well, on a Saturday,
Anyway.
there's nothing, so y'all just be there all day.
Yeah, especially like people that are entering mid-semester. We got new athletes on campus. There was a ton of them at the game, not just Brendan Sorsby. So get the experience of the Red Raider crowd. Let's do it. All right, we'll see y'all next time. We see y'all. I don't know. We got a lot of content coming up. 2 shows a week and interviews over the next week. You're going to see us like 3 times a week, so bye. You're going to be sick of us. All right. Wreck 'em.